So what's going on, guys? It's Jamie, it's Speed Boxing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel before you guys click onto any of these videos. Also comment below in the comment section if you guys have any opinions on what I'm saying in any of these videos. Like always, it is appreciated if you guys could drop me a quick sub or two on my channel. So I know it's been a while since I've done any videos on my channel, you know what I mean? Life happens and you just get on with that, and I left the channel a bit in the wind, but I'm going to start doing videos again, and I'm going to try and be as regular as possible and try and get up with the latest boxing news and stuff like that for you guys, and give you guys more videos and content and stuff like that. But this video, I'm going to talk about the Belfast card that happened tonight on Frank Warren's show. It was a Queensbury promotion. Obviously, it was headlined by Carl Frampton and Luke Jackson, but I'll get to that later on in the video. But first I want to talk about the co-main event, which was Tyson Fury against Francesco Pianeta, and obviously there's been a lot of hype behind that fight, because if Tyson Fury was to win tonight, he apparently is going to face Deontay Wilder next. And Tyson Fury did win the fight tonight by a 10-round unanimous decision. He won it on every scorecard. Well, the referee judged the fight. He scored it 100 to 90 to Tyson Fury. So he won every round pretty convincingly tonight against Francesco Pianeta. But you know, he was expected to do this, Tyson Fury. A lot of people expected Tyson Fury to go in there and stop this guy tonight. But obviously he needed the rounds and stuff like that. But it's just something about Tyson Fury at the minute that just doesn't seem right. And I don't think he's ready yet for Deontay Wilder. I really don't. I don't think he's ready for that fight in December. Maybe if he has one or two more fights to get himself more back into it, you know what I mean, then maybe you could say, yeah, him and Deontay Wilder could be an interesting fight. But right now, I wouldn't be confident picking Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, I just don't think Tyson Fury is there yet, you know what I mean? Like tonight against Francesco Pianeta, he looked flat-footed at times. He looked quite heavy on his feet. Obviously, physically, still not in the best shape he could be. And you know what I mean, he's just still not on top form, you know what I mean? There was flashes again from Tyson Fury tonight in some of the rounds. He was showing some of his talent and stuff like that. He was pivoting well. He was slipping and sliding very well and stuff like that. He was getting off his shots very well. Like, there was flashes in there from Tyson Fury. But all in all, you know what I mean, against this level of opponent, Tyson Fury should be better. Well, should be doing better in a lot of people's eyes if he wants to call himself the best heavyweight in the world and claim to be the lineal heavyweight champion, the man to beat. Because if he was in there with Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua tonight, then boy, I think Tyson Fury would have been in trouble, you know what I mean? Because he just still isn't there, in my opinion. And it questions, well, there's questions in my head right now about Tyson Fury's training setup. Like Ben Davidson, who he has employed to train him in fights and stuff like that. And how good is Ben Davidson as a trainer? Because tonight, I don't think Tyson Fury even needed Ben Davidson in his corner. Like, Tyson Fury was just going out there and doing what he wanted. You know what I mean? Is there not a level of respect there from Tyson Fury to Ben Davidson? You know what I mean? Tyson Fury is older than Ben Davidson. Like, Tyson Fury is 30 years old. Ben Davidson is, what, 25, 26? Obviously, Tyson Fury is a very accomplished professional. Ben Davidson apparently had quite a good amateur career, but never really turned pro or anything. We didn't turn pro. We just went into the training aspect and the personal training aspect in boxing and stuff like that. So it's not really a level of respect there from Tyson Fury to his trainer Ben Davidson, because I think Tyson Fury could have just went back there and sat on the corner on his own tonight. You know what I mean? He could have sat on that stool and had no one in his corner, and he just would have put on the same performance against Francesco Pianeta. Like, it looks like Ben Davidson isn't really doing much in terms of Tyson Fury's development in the ring. Obviously, they've made big developments and big strides in Tyson Fury losing weight and stuff like that. Tyson Fury's lost 10 stone in weight, which is quite a good accomplishment. But, you know, he just looked not as sharp, Tyson Fury. He just didn't look as sharp. And obviously, he's got 3 months if he's going to fight Deontay Wilder in November to December to get himself into better shape. Maybe try and tone up a little bit more, because he was carrying some weight. Obviously, he's got that extra skin on him now, because obviously he put on a lot of weight. And obviously when you lose a lot of weight, like Tyson Fury did, what, like 10 stone, then you're going to have added skin because of the fat, and obviously the extra weight you put on, the skin doesn't always go away so quickly, you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see if Tyson Fury does actually take this fight with Deontay Wilder, and this fight gets set in stone, because Frank Warren said in the ring after the fight, obviously Deontay Wilder came into the ring, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder got into it a little bit. Obviously there was a level of respect there. I think Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury do actually like each other. I think these two could actually sit down and have a few drinks together and stuff like that. Obviously, they're going to have this rivalry they have, and obviously they're going to call each other bums, and Tyson Fury's going to say he's going to knock him out, and you know what I mean? They're going to have that because these men want to get into the ring and fight each other. But at the same time, I think there's a level of respect there, and I think these guys do actually like each other in terms of the characters they are inside and outside of the ring. So, yeah, you know what I mean? I just don't see Tyson Fury being ready for Deontay Wilder next. I'm sorry, I know Tyson Fury is a better fighter than Deontay Wilder in terms of technical ability and stuff like that. He's just an all-round better fighter than Deontay Wilder, apart from the power. Obviously, Deontay Wilder has that massive power, and also Deontay Wilder is athletically gifted, very more athletically gifted than somebody like a Tyson Fury. But in terms of pure boxing ability, Tyson Fury's got the better ring IQ, and I think if they were to fight, Tyson Fury could outbox Deontay Wilder for a few rounds, but then I think Deontay Wilder could catch him with something and take Tyson Fury out, because if that left hand lands on anybody, they're in trouble. And I'm telling not left hand, that right hand of Deontay Wilder, if that lands on anybody in the heavyweight division, they're in trouble. And I just don't see Tyson Fury really being that sharp enough to avoid eventually catching a big right hand from Deontay Wilder. Obviously against Vladimir Klitschko, he was at his sharpest, and Vladimir Klitschko hits very hard himself, you know what I mean? Possibly doesn't hit as hard as Deontay Wilder in terms of one punch, but you know what I mean? He was up there. Vladimir Klitschko was a very, very hard puncher. So, you know what I mean? I don't see Tyson Fury being as sharp as he was that night in Dusseldorf against Deontay Wilder, especially in just 3 months' time. So, like I said, it has me questioning Tyson Fury's training setup. Is Ben Davison just a yes man? Is this guy just there to get Tyson Fury into good shape and not really talk about the boxing side of things, you know what I mean? Let Tyson Fury go in the ring and do what he wants, because one thing Tyson Fury had with his Uncle Peter not only knew boxing, like, listen to Peter Fury talk about boxing. This guy knows boxing. Like, go and listen to some of Peter Fury's interviews. This guy is a true student of the sport of boxing. This guy knows his stuff, especially with his heavyweights that he trains and stuff like that, like his own son Huey and other trainers he's trained in the past, like Eddie Chambers and stuff like that. And you know what I mean, one thing Peter Fury was good at as well was reining Tyson Fury in. You know what I mean? When it was getting down to business, Tyson Fury was on job when he was with his Uncle Peter. You know what I mean? He wasn't as erratic in the ring, but since he's been with Ben Davison, you know what I mean? He just seems a lot more erratic. He's there even tonight, even though he was more on the job tonight. He was there winning the fight comfortable, keeping the fight at the same pace. Like, in between rounds, he was there dancing when the music was playing and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't really on the job like he could have been against Francesco Pianeta. Like, he could have got this guy out earlier, in my opinion, but I think he just wanted to try and keep the fight as safe as possible and try and get to the Deontay Wilder fight. But like I said, I don't think he's ready for that fight next. I think he needs 1 or 2 fights just to see where he's at. I think he just needs to be stepped up the levels. I think he needs to fight someone a step up from Francesco Pianeta in his next fight instead of fighting Deontay Wilder, because Francesco Pianeta straight to somebody like Deontay Wilder, it's night and day. So I just don't see it being a good move from Tyson Fury. Is Frank Warren just trying to cash out with Tyson Fury? Like, we just don't know what's happening right now behind the scenes with Tyson Fury and Frank Warren. Do they know this fight is a massive risk and it's a fight that they could easily lose, or they're just trying to cash out? We just don't know what's going on right now behind the scenes. But if I was advising Tyson Fury, like, boy, I wouldn't be telling him to fight Deontay Wilder next. I really wouldn't, because I just don't see him being ready. Like, the proof's in the pudding. Go watch Tyson Fury against Francesco Pianeta tonight, and you tell me he's ready to fight somebody like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, a guy who's in tremendous shape when he gets in the ring, a guy who's lean, a guy who's very athletically gifted, a guy who can really, really punch, probably the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division right now, knocked out every opponent he's ever faced. You know what I mean? 98% KO ratio. Like, this guy is a legit dangerous puncher, and Tyson Fury's going to have to be at his best to beat him. Like, probably not from a technical aspect, but you know what I mean? He just needs to be sharp, and he's just not sharp at the minute. Like, technically, he's night and day over Deontay Wilder, but in terms of his sharpness, his reflexes, it's just not there right now, in my opinion. There's something missing with Tyson Fury, and hopefully he gets it back, but he might not get it back. Maybe him losing that much weight has permanently affected his reflexes and stuff like that, and his speed or his timing, and you know, we just don't know yet with Tyson Fury. But I'm telling you now, this fight with Deontay Wilder, boy, it's something that you wouldn't advise him to take. Like, you really wouldn't. And finally, I'm going to talk about, well, very quickly, I'm going to talk about the main event, Carl Frampton against Luke Jackson. This was the main event. This was at Carl Frampton's dream place to have a fight. It was at Windsor Park, a place that he's grew up in, obviously a place that he's grew up wanting to fight in for a very, very long time. And it's his dream to fight there tonight, and that's what he did against Luke Jackson. And, you know what I mean? Carl Frampton was just a level ahead, this guy. Like, this guy came, he was a decent fighter. He was a decent level fighter. He was a fringe world level fighter, in my opinion. Like, he just wasn't on the level of somebody like a Carl Frampton. Like, he had moments, Luke Jackson, but he just was too basic for Carl Frampton. He didn't have enough in terms of his punch variety and stuff like that. He was landing the odd cheeky shot here and there that caught Carl Frampton's attention, but nothing really that could put a dent in Carl Frampton. He didn't really have the power. He didn't have the punch variety. And Carl Frampton, like, if I could box like anybody, if I could be a boxer and box like anybody, it'd be Carl Frampton. Like, this guy just boxes fantastically. Very intelligent, very neat. Carl Frampton, he keeps his shape very well. He throws punches very well, Carl Frampton. Like, this guy defensively is very good. And, you know what I mean, it was just a fantastic performance by Carl Frampton tonight. Punch perfect, in my opinion, in many of the rounds. Obviously, he got caught a few times. But in terms of what he was doing offensively, he was doing very, very well. Putting shots together to head to body. And, you know what I mean, he moves on now to possibly have a shot against Josh Warrington later on in the year. Frank Warren saying this is on. But Frank Warren, you know what I mean, tonight, when they were asking him about fights being made, they were like, is this fight going to happen next, Frank? Same with the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. He was like, well, all details will come out. It's like Tyson Fury, not Tyson Fury, it was like Frank Warren didn't seem very confident, you know what I mean, in announcing these fights and stuff like that. But I think we will see these fights. I do think we'll see Carl Frampton against Josh Warrington. I think it's a very interesting fight, but I still think that Carl Frampton beats Josh Warrington. Like, Josh Warrington's got a very good engine. Very, very good engine, and that could be a problem for Carl Frampton, you know what I mean, if Josh Warrington puts it on him. But in terms of boxing ability, I just see Carl Frampton being the better boxer, and I expect him to beat somebody like a Josh Warrington. It might not be easy, he might have to grind it out if you can't get Josh Warrington out of there, because Josh Warrington seems very solid, he's very strong, he's very, very fit. So, you know what I mean, that will be an interesting matchup. But all in all, the card was a decent card tonight. Paddy Barnes got knocked out in 3 rounds by, what's the guy's name? Rosales or something like that for the WBC flyweight title. Way too early for Paddy Barnes. 5-0, taking on a guy who is a very, very tough guy, a very good world champion in Rosales. Like, he put Paddy Barnes away in the 3rd round with a fantastic body shot. He was winning the rounds comfortably as well. Like, Paddy Barnes just wasn't ready. I know he had all that amateur pedigree and Olympic pedigree, but in terms of a professional, he just didn't really have the experience. 5-0 when he's fighting for the WBC title? Like, come on, give me a break. And you got people like Andrew Selby out there who's already beat this guy before he was a world champion, not even getting a crack at a world title. But it's boxing at the end of the day. You got to be with the right people. Andrew Selby's not really with the right people in boxing right now. Paddy Barnes is. He's with Frank Warren, so Frank Warren got him the shot at the world title tonight, and you know what I mean, it was just too early for him. So yeah, decent card tonight. Interesting, quite comical at times, but it is what it is. Comment below in the comment section. It's JM, it's Sweet.